this castle, and we have another one in this direction, and there's a third one in this direction. This one, it's in a bad shape. That one is in worse shape than that one.
Also Templar?
Yeah, three in a row. Because there were 7 castles, temples. So, welcome to this first conference and this first event that which we begin our meeting this weekend, and we'll do very dynamic visit because there's no time, and for some of you certainly it's too difficult to climb just to the top of the tower because it's too high. But for those who can or want to do it, it's nice. Okay. This castle was built from nothing, from the rock, by Gualdim Pais. Yeah, the first great master of Portuguese temple. Portuguese, not Portuguese. Sorry, you Spanish. But she's actually there. She has a sword, and I know I'm just a second distance. But because generally, when we see some programs in the History Channel and so on, it seems that there were Spanish Templars and Portuguese Templars. Templars were not Spanish, nor Portuguese, nor French. They were Templars. Okay, and inside the order there were some provinces. And Spain, Castilla, and Portugal and Galicia were inside in Leon, were inside the ninth province of the Temple. Catalonia and Aragon did belong to the Italian. Italian province. Okay, so when we speak about Portuguese, Spanish Templars, it's wrong. There was no Portuguese or Spanish Templars, okay? There were lots of people from Spain or Spanish or Portuguese working for the Templars, but there were no national Templars. So this is the first mistake lots of people commit, but it's like that. We can try to change this, but it's very difficult. And this province has to add to main strongholds that existed in Portuguese territory. Tomar, it was the spiritual stronghold, and another one, Castelo Branco, next to the border with Spain. At that time there was no Spain, just on the border, because there was no border yet. Okay, so the Templars received from the King of Portugal a fantastic territory that went through Spain, almost till Andalusia, till the south, and after that only, and during the reign of Denis, the King Denis, that transformed the Templars in Order of Christ, new Templars, nationalized the Templars. After that you can speak about Portuguese Templars. Okay, before you cannot. And this king, helped by the Templars, decided to divide the border, or to draw a border between Portugal and Castilla. And it was the first time this happened, and this was done in a place in the north of next to the border with Bragança. Alcaniz was a place. Today it's nothing. Even the castle almost doesn't exist. It's a big city of casinos and brothels and things like that. But at those times it was very important stronghold, Templar stronghold. But this great master, I call him great because he was very important, first very important great master in Portugal, of the 9th province. Okay, this great master was the first to build lots of fortresses and strongholds, because before the Templars had received castles and other places that were already built. The first to build like this was him, and he built several castles all along the country, not only in this region but along the country. Tomar was built by him also, and this castle, Cardiga Castle, Zezer Castle, Dornes Castle, the 7 castles, even one on the other side of the river, Pinheiro Castle. It was a kind of advanced post to see if there was someone coming. Because every of these towers, every of these castles communicate with each other with fire. Smoke signs, okay? So it could, every castle was visible to the others at that time, not today, but at that time they were visible, intervisible. And this was built to create a line of defense on the river, Tejo. It was at the border at that time, the south border of this territory. And next to Cardiga Castle, there was an old Roman road. If you go there, you'll see the Roman road. So it was a way to cross the river, an easy way to cross the river. So they built the castle just next to the road to check everyone who crossed the road, or crossed the river into that road. And so everything was built according to certain defense plans, but not only. When we look for Templar buildings, we must be prepared to be amazed, because every Templar building is built according to other ideas, not only defense, not only commerce, not only material things. There is always something beyond matter, and they were interested in matter. The first Grandmaster, when the order was transformed in Order of Christ, in the rule, he writes, first of all, material things. Without material things, there are no spiritual ones. You see? Great master wrote that. And so, this is very important. And so, Waldim Pais built those castles, and after that, he chose to entertain himself with other matters, with other subjects. And after that, he prepared, for example, a big thing that happened and no one knows. Almost no one knows. That was preventing the Catars, people from Languedoc in south of France, to be slaughtered. Okay? In 1208 and 9, thousands of Catars were welcomed in Portuguese territory of the Templars, building new villages and cities with the names of their own in the south of France. So we have a lot of places in our territory now, even now, with the names of places that exist in the south of France, translated to Portuguese. Okay, but where did this big heresy began? At Albi. Okay, so where Albi is in Portugal, the second stronghold of the Templars in the Iberian Peninsula, Castelo Branco. The natural people of Castelo Branco is called Albi Castrenses. See? So this is just a note for you to understand that there are lots of things that we must rewrite and think about. These three castles in this region had another purpose since Waldim Pais' time. They were the keepers of a big secret, or better, of two big secrets. First of all, the secrets of the agnostic exercises, their secret doctrine, because these castles were lost in the middle of nowhere, so they could work without any problem. This is the first one, and inside this castle, in the end of 19th century, were found 24 medals that show that they had a secret doctrine. It's the only place in the world when we actually have material objects to show them. Material proof, okay? 24 of these, 3 of these medals, you can see them in the exhibition that will open at 6. And those 3 medals depict a knight kneeling in one only knee. It's different from kneeling with the 2, okay? Kneeling one before a lady and giving the lady a flower, a rose, and the lady puts the helmet on his head. This is a kind of symbolic thing. We can speak about that in another time, but it's very symbolic, because this depicts not only the purpose of kneeling before the soul of the knight himself kneeling before his soul, but also when the lady puts the helmet, this means something in the doctrine of the Templars. To build a head, it's what in Gnostic thinking means to be prepared to reach other world of consciousness and existence. Because this head, we think this head is the border of everything for us. It's not. Think of yourself as a phone. Okay, we have inside the phone a device that keeps us in touch with everything we receive, and we can phone others. Okay, we think that's everything the phone has. No, there's a satellite. Without the satellite, you can phone nobody, nor receive phone nobody. It's what happens with us. We have a ship inside, our brain the ship, but we have a satellite. And only working or building a head, this is a symbolic way of telling this. Only building a head, we can reach that reality. It's not building a mental world. It's building a head. What a head means. You know that one of the great accusations against Templars was the Baphomet. Okay, Baphomet was an invention from 18th century, from a German guy called Hammerpugstall. Okay, but before he didn't invent nothing. He only tried to adapt things that he knew.
Pulled it out of his head.
Yeah. He adapted things he knew from other people before him. The word Baphomet was invented by him. So when people speak about Baphomet and connect Baphomet with Templars, people are committing an anachronism, because the word was not used in the 13th or 12th century or 14th century. Okay? So it's an anachronism. But the second sequence, this is the first.
What is the anachronism?
Anachronism is something out of his time. Okay? Something that we say about something out of his time. For example, when we speak about Templars, we must speak about them only till the dismission of the order, isn't it? The order of Knight Templar. Okay? The Templars exist till then. After that, it is a different thing. Okay? It's not perhaps anymore Templar order, it is Templarism. It's different. Okay, so if we speak about Templar order, after that we are committing an anachronism, because the times are not.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, are not synchronized.
It's not synchronized. It's anok. It's not.
No, exactly. So this is the first mystery. The second mystery is even perhaps more important, because these castles were put on this place because this place is connected with water. Every of the three castles is water, and water it was not now anymore, but it was a very good way of going somewhere. There was no highways. Okay, water, rivers. Till 19th century, before the dams that were built in the River Tiber, we could go from here to Toledo without any problem. In a caravel. See, not in a rowing ship, in a caravel. So everything changed, and very quickly. So what is this second mystery about? It's about building boats. The famous boats Portuguese had since 14th century were built in this region, in these places guarded by these three castles, and above all by castles from this river. There's a Spanish document, a spy that came from Spain, that writes to Spain saying that I saw more than 100 ships being built at the same time. And it was not the running ships, as we can figure, okay? Big ships. So, when we speak about ships, people generally think Lisbon, Ribeira das Naus, and it was there that John II began to build his ships, but before John II there were shipbuilding, and it was Templar, not from the crown, okay? And this was the place where everything happened. The first discoverer, Portuguese discoverer, was the commander of this castle. So you can figure that, what a coincidence. Okay? Even sorry?
What was the name?
His name Gonçalo Velho. Gonçalo Velho. It was the discoverer of 2 islands of Azores Island. Okay? It was the commander of this castle, Almourol. Under his command, the ships were built. So he decided, okay, I'm building the ships, I'll try one. And he went away, okay? And because the river Tejo had more water than now has, so the ships could go and come very easily to what doesn't happen now. Or it's very difficult now to have a ship like a caravel, for example, doing this. But at that time it was not. And this is nice because they were building the ships inside their territory with trees that came from inside their territory, with people that work for them. Everything is secret. Okay, this is something we'll show in detail in one of our next exhibitions, because it's completely new. Lots of books can be this, and so in the garbage.
As cavernas, aquilo estava tudo resolvido, mas a quilha conseguiu-se tirar aquilo toda perfeita.
When Salazar did here a great dinner and offered here a great dinner to the ambassadors, foreign ambassadors in Portugal, and it was a great party in here with theater, music and so on. And so in that time they did some works to adapt the place to that event, and so this wall perhaps disappeared at that time. And on the wall, on these 2 walls, there was a chapel dedicated to Our Lady of Almourol. Disappeared. We know nothing about this. So we know only that it existed because there are documents that say on the walls that there's a chapel. So there's an inscription, and that inscription would be a normal inscription if we didn't find a word there that changes all. Volume Pais, it's identified as Lucifer. Okay? Lucifer. It's not Volume Pais, it's Lucifer. So Lucifer in Middle Ages was the name of the devil. Okay? So calling Volume Pais Lucifer. This happens 3 times in 3 different castles. Not 1 time. Here at Tomar, twice. One of the inscriptions that is in Tomar came from Pombal, another castle. But in 3 castles there were an inscription where Volume Pais was called Lucifer. Okay? Try to see this in our first catalog, the first exhibition that we published the inscriptions, and in my book about Almourol. Okay? Because I do the same. John, yes sir. Yeah, Lucifer. The light part, that's all. And here you see the rest of their houses. There was a door there, the treason door, called the treason door. There's no military memories connected to Almourol. The only memories connected to Almourol are legendary and those connected with those medals and those experiences, Gnostic experiences. So it's not much. Before we knew that the medal existed, we liked it. It's not only nice. That shows Templars here you can see another inscription by William Page. He liked very much to leave some traces of himself. Some traces of himself. He used to tell his story in inscriptions that he left in several places. You see here, Magister Gualdinus Bracaraque Galesse Hortus, mestre Gualdino de Braga, que é a cabeça da Galiza, nascido, portanto, Gualdino Paz nascido em Braca, que é a cabeça da Galiza, não é? Edificou este castelo, Almourol, com os seus irmãos. Gualdino está, in this side you see a portrait of himself, not a true portrait. Fine. Not only knowledge. You must address to their Templars had some main concerns. Okay, we must be synchronized with their main concerns and not with ours. Generally, we are concerned with ours. Ours is completely different.